yesterday, so we're going to cover those things. And of course, our trainers will cover it more in depth. So this here is actually a dental exam for one of our young male killer whales in San Diego. Just like a dentist will come up and they'll x-ray your teeth, check them, maybe clean them a little bit. We don't necessarily clean a killer whale's teeth with toothpaste, but we rather use something more like a water pick. It's basically a jet of water and it helps blast any plaque off that killer whale's mouth. And of course they love playing with hoses anyway, so it's just a little extra fun for them. Right here are actually heart monitors on our 57-year-old female in San Diego as well. And we did that during exercise sessions when she was just resting. And we used those cardiac respirations as well as those beats to develop a baseline for wild killer whales. This was basically a part of a study that created a broader horizon for studying killer whales out in the natural environment. This is a routine blood draw, especially adults who are pretty familiar with this. You're gonna obviously stick out your arm for the doctor, they'll take that blood draw from you, and typically you have to wait a little while for those results. Our vet is on call and they're also on property, so they are actually going to analyze it and then directly report the results to us. So they're ready for us if you all want to have dinner.
How you guys doing?
Good, how are you?
Good, welcome to Orca. We have a lot of things to get through in a short time, so we're going to try and get through as much of it as possible, but you do have other stations to see as well. So we have 5 killer whales, 3 females and 2 males. These whales in front of you are 2 males, Trua and Makayo. Trua is 16 years old and Makayo is 11 years old. He's our youngest whale. Makayo's mother is Katina. Katina is 45 years old and she is our matriarch. Killer whales have a female dominant society. So Katina is the boss even over the male. We also have her other calf, Melanie, who is 15, and then Malia, who is 14. In total, we have 7 pools that are connected by different doorways. And they hold 7.2 million gallons of man-made salt water. Now we can change it up. We can leave some of the doors open. We can leave all the doors open. We can change up which doors are open and closed. We like to keep it variable for the whales so that no 2 days are ever exactly the same. Yes, they are burping. They're boys, they burp, you know.
Girls do it too.
They do it way more, you know.
Boys do it way more than girls. That's true.
Those burps are coming from their throat and their mouth, but any other vocalizations that you hear coming from them are actually coming from that blowhole on top of their head. They breathe from their blowholes, and it's a muscular flap that they can open and close and manipulate to make different sounds. So that's pretty cool. You might hear it through your time back here with us. Now we can do a lot of different types of sessions with our whales every single day. The first is called a husbandry session, which is just a fancy term for healthcare. In these sessions, the whales voluntarily participate in their own healthcare. Examples of different types of sessions. I won't delve too much into the healthcare because that's the next station, so you're going to hear a lot about that. We can also do a new learning session with our whales where they focus on learning new behaviors. We train all of our whales using positive reinforcement. And all that means is that we reward or reinforce behaviors that we'd like to see more of, and we just simply ignore behaviors that we'd like to see less of. Does anybody know one of the biggest things we would reward a killer whale with?
Oh!
Not you. No.
Fish.
Yes, fish. There you go. More fish. We can reinforce them with their fish. We feed them 3 different types of fish here at SeaWorld. Capelin, herring, and salmon. And they swallow their food whole. In the wild, if a killer whale was eating much larger prey, they could use their teeth to tear that up, but mostly they swallow their food whole. They all have their own individual diets based on their age and their weight, things like that. So Trua eats the most right now because he's our largest whale. He weighs 7,100 pounds, and he's still growing. And right now he eats 160 pounds of fish every single day.
Oh.
And the more he grows, the more fish he will eat. Yeah.
Oh, the dorsal fin? It happens in Africa.
Does anybody have any questions?
So what is it then?
No, no questions?
I could overhear your question.
No questions?
So you have homework assignments now. You ready? Yeah. Okay. You're going to look up port and starboard. killer whales. Okay, if you're driving a boat, left and right is port and starboard. There are 2 killer whales that there's this really cool study on. 2 killer whales in the wild. That now you have homework because I want you to learn about it. It doesn't happen just in captivity. Wild killer whales also have curved dorsal fins, but there's a lot of explanations as to why that happens, and it's really, really cool information. Okay. So now you have homework.
I have another question.
Yes.
When he's chilling, just like cruising with his mouth open, is he just waiting for you to throw fish in, or is
He's playing.
Just like we would.
He's playing, taking water in. Yeah.
I didn't know.
It's a lot of different things. He's not waiting for fish. He may be just letting the water run through the very sensational in their mouth as well. They're very tactile oriented.
Just so that he's not being blinded by the sun. All right, well, thank you guys so much. You can head down towards your next station.
Thank you, guys.
You're very welcome. And the Star Wars fans, man.
You guys can see that this area is a little bit different from the rest of our areas. It does have this big awning over here, but this is our rising floor. You can see the bottom is a little bit different. It's got that white pail. That floor can actually raise up in about 20 seconds or less. Connected by those different cables, so we've got timers ready right now, right? So if we need to get any sort of like medical examination, easy and safe way for us to do that. It also allows our veterinary staff to actually go over that wall and into our animals' environment, but in a safe manner. So what we do is ask our killer whales to come in through one of those different gates and water. Killer whales, they can be out of the water for hours. Just take shade over here because a lot of times animals that are stranded, right? So we want to make sure they're nice and shaded. They're totally fine being out of the water up like that for hours. No more than like 3 minutes. Now, since this area is a little bit different than the rest of our areas, this area is probably one of the most highly reinforced areas because it's really hard for us to explain to killer whales speak English, like to say, hey, it might be pretty scary for just a couple minutes, but that's okay. So what we do as trainers is we ask them into here, we give them big killer whale cards. So this area we use lots of different toys for different like buckets of ice, buckets of fish. Our animals might come in here, we might raise them up. We might have our entire killer whale training team come on in. This area is super fun. Sometimes it's really fun and sometimes it's super reward. And then you get a super fun reward at the end of it, or maybe even before it. So it's one of our most highly rewarded areas. And right now all of our animals are so well conditioned that coming into this area is just such a breeze. Everything that we do is voluntary though. So at the end of the day, if they don't want to come in here, then we're not going to come in here. There's no way of us to force our killer whales to come into this area. Which once again goes back to us making this area super, super fun and enjoyable for them at the end of the day. Like I said, all the behaviors are voluntary, so what we do is condition different voluntary behaviors with our animals to collect different samples. You've seen our presentation. We typically demonstrate how we get a blood sample. We roll our animals over, we have their tails placed nice and still in front of us. We can get our veterinary staff to come over and collect a blood sample from their tail. Now this little cup right here, what we get is a sample in here. I know you guys know what we put in here. Everyone's thinking it, no one wants to say it. It's urine. We get whale urine samples. Isn't that awesome? Who would have thought that we could do that? Right, exactly. So what we do is we'll kind of either go into our main area where there's our slide out, or we have a bigger slide out area over here. We can ask our animals to slide out, they slide out on their sides. We can go down to their more personal area and they know exactly what to do. This behavior is so well conditioned that our cue for this behavior is just simply showing them this cup and they know exactly what to do. They slide right up, they go right in the center.
Hi, this is Leah. She's way better than me.
Oh my gosh, not even. Hi guys, yes, my name is Leah. How are you guys doing? Good, good. I hope you guys are enjoying your inside look. So, this is our last station. So if you guys have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. I'd love to answer anything that you guys have. Otherwise, I can talk a little bit more about the enrichment that we give the whales. So enrichment is anything that we can add to the whale's environment for them to interact with. So toys, the killer whales are really playful. They love toys. They love interacting with toys. Here are some of their favorites. Little hula hoop. They like to put it on their pectoral flipper, on top
top of their head. I love toys like this because, do you guys have like Kongs at home for your dogs? And you like put treats in it and then they work at it to get the treats out? This is really similar. It's like a big piñata ball. We put like fish, ice, Jello. Have you guys talked about Jello yet?
No.
We give the whales Jello, not only for healthcare purposes because it's a great source of water for them, but they also seem to enjoy it. So putting Jello in here, all that fun stuff. That little toy over there too, they really seem to enjoy. So it's fun getting creative between the different toys and the way we can utilize the Jello. It's really fun to give these guys different things to play with and interact with. They also are very playful and like, you guys, you know how you play fetch with your dog? You throw a ball and they'll bring it back to you and they want you to throw it again. The whales will do something similar too. Sometimes they like to play with it on their own, but other times they'll bring it back to us like, here you go, and it's like a back and forth game. It's a lot of fun. So it's really cool just to see how they like to play, when they like to play, but they are extremely playful animals. You guys have any questions? No?
What's your favorite game?
Oh, when they want to play that back and forth game, that's my favorite. And then like we also utilize like, do you guys like Harry Potter? You know the game Quidditch? So we call it Quidditch. So we use this hoop and then we give them a smaller toy. It's just like a little lid. We actually just use it to cover the bucket so the birds don't eat all the fish. So it's only about this big, but the whales love to play with it. So we'll give them a lid and then we'll put up our hoop and then the whales will shoot the lid through the hoop. We call it Quidditch. That's my favorite game. Also the big, you see those big boomer balls? They're red and blue in color. The medium sized ones, the boys, Drew and Kyle, they like to play what we call soccer with them. So we'll put the ball in front of them and they'll use their pictorial flippers to whack it. Well, I guess that's like a use your hands, but whales don't have hands, right? So like a back and forth, like we'll dribble the ball down this, especially this ledge right here is so wide. It's really fun. You can go the whole ledge of just like a back and forth, like moving the ball back and forth. So those are my favorite games to play personally. Yeah. Anything else, guys? Yeah? Well, awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Have you guys seen Orca Encounter yet? Yeah, make sure you see an Orca Encounter today if you haven't.
Well, looks like at least you're seeing your two of your free ladies. Oh, and I hear some vocalization from her compared to Maria. Oh, there she goes. Looks like she's up. I almost hear something that sounds like vocalization. Oh, wow! Whoa, 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 whoa.
There she goes.
She's up
Running start.
and fast.
Rail underwater viewing. My name is Marissa. I'm a part of the education team here at SeaWorld Orlando. Our killer whale habitat here in Orlando is one of the largest killer whale habitats in the world with 7 different pools. This pool right in front of y'all is 27 feet deep. Our main presentation pool is close to 40 feet deep. One of the main questions that we get from y'all is how cold the water is. The water is a nice and refreshing 55 degrees. We do have 5 different killer whales in our habitat. We have 3 females, Katina, Nalani, and Malia, and our 2 males, Trua and Makayo. Our youngest whale is Makayo at 11 years old. Our oldest mother is Katina, who's 46 years old. They all have unique looks and personalities. When looking at the killer whale, you may not realize that the adaptations they possess, they make them the top predators of the ocean. Again, that white spot, that's not their eye. Their eye is actually going to be right below. They're counter shading, which means that when you see them from the top, it's going to be a little bit darker, so they blend in with the bottom. When you look at them from the bottom, they're going to be a little bit lighter because they're going to look more like the sky and the brightness from above.